Yo, what is up, Kings? I hope all is well. I wanted to talk about this guy, Hafeez Baoku, I think is his last name. I actually recorded this already. No, Baoku. I actually recorded this before I did a car ride rant on it, but I decided to re-record it to hammer home some of the things that I wanted to discuss more succinctly. And of course, unfortunately, the car never sounds as clean as doing the videos here. But Hafeez rose to prominence in the Redpill space. I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. And I mean, he was very popular. I mean, he was up there with like mediocre tutorials and reviews, who is still around apparently. I don't really and have never watched that guy's content, and I've heard of, I've definitely seen some critiques on him. There's been some people who have been around like for a long time. Coach Greg Adams has been around even longer than that dude. You have Modern Life Dating. You have there's this millionaire guy. I've watched a few of his videos. Anton Daniels, the Millionaire Morning Show. He also has another channel. Of course, you have Myron Gaines. You had Kevin Samuels that passed away. And there's many more. I mean, there's many faces that have come through the Manosphere / Redpill. Okay. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys, because it becomes a business, there's so much content that is pushed out there. It becomes very hard for the average person to keep track of everything, and whether this channel is Red Pill, whether they're merely an entertainment channel, whether they're Manosphere, what do they consider themselves? And it gets extremely convoluted. What aspect is dating and game versus marriage and interpersonal dynamics and versus pure red pill ideology. It gets very confusing. And it just is what it is. But there's been a lot of guys, and he was one of them. Matter of fact, this hat that I'm wearing is one of Marquette Devon Barton, one of his sponsored companies. Apparently he takes business ideas from people, and he supports them in creating business ventures. So anyways, I got this hat. So there's a lot of people in this space, okay? And he was one of them. And his main thing when he first started was a channel called The Rommates. And The Rommates was him and his partner called Chris something. It's so freaking hard to remember all these guys' names. Chris Bello. And they would primarily interview people that were transformative and had something to say, and were kind of coming through the limelight, and were getting a lot of recognition, a lot of clout, and things like that. And I believe they had Candace Owens on. They had Jordan Peterson on. I mean, they've had some big names on their podcast. And then I remember checking out their channel a little bit down the line, and it kind of transitioned to more of like a black focused, Southern, upper middle class, black lifestyle, interpersonal dynamics stuff. Of course, I saw them on Fresh and Fit. They went on the Fresh and Fit pod a few times. So they've been around. To keep it long story short, with all of that, Koof hit, and they started to do more independent, non-interview style content, where primarily Hafeez was the guy that was giving some of these talks and discussions. And the content did not do very well. Now, here's the thing. I just want to make this perfectly clear. It was not doing well compared to his previous The Rommates channel. There are levels of success to this thing. I think one thing in kind of the red pill space that people really get caught up in is if you're not the top 1% in whatever you're doing, you're not successful. And to me, that's ridiculous because 99% of people never make it to the top 1% of what they're doing. To me, being successful is enjoying what you're doing, being passionate about what you're doing, and, of course, having some level of success based off of your own expectations and goals that you have set for yourself. So I only say that in comparison with his previous channel, The Rommates. So they transitioned to that, and it maybe a better way to put it is to say that it was not as popular as The Rommates. And fast forward, he ends up going on the Saucecast with Adam, and Coach Greg Adams is on the channel. And suffice it to say, it was not his best showing. And he came at it from a very... He really tried to promote this kind of Christian-minded answer to the modern state of things. And unfortunately, where his error lied was not having an alternative in spite of the current modern state of things. Why people should listen to him given the data and the red pill of the modern state of interpersonal, intersexual dynamics. But he would just continuously pound the Christ pill, which you guys know, I am an Orthodox Christian, but I've also been very outspoken in saying that that is something I continue to struggle with myself in my own worldview, is how to navigate being an Orthodox Christian man while also acknowledging the red pill truths of female nature, the modern dating market, interpersonal dynamics, and things like that. So if you're going to do that, but you don't have an answer as to why that is better, it's hard for people to get on board with it, especially if you were a guy that was like dabbing your toe, if not your whole foot, in the red pill space. You know, because you're kind of like doing a full-blown 180 out of nowhere. So anyways, that was the main thing, and I'll circle back to why he, in my estimation, he failed and did not do well when he went on the Saucecast. But he also talked with Pearl Davis, and he received a lot of critique, again, espousing a lot of similar things that he was saying on the Saucecast. But he also kind of had this undertone of passive aggressiveness, kind of this belated, robust, spacey, bloated way of saying things that just went on and on and on and on. And he would always ask questions when he was making a point, and you know, it was frustrating. It was listening to him was very frustrating for me, and I think there was a lot of people that felt that way. Now I get it. You know, it is somewhat subjective to a certain degree, but it also is somewhat objective. It's one of those things that, yes, is kind of personal preference, but also the stats and the numbers don't lie. And so he received some heat. He also received some support, but I would say that it was more heat. And then he went on the Saucecast again to talk with Pearl, this time with a mediator, Adam, and again, it kind of went downhill. So just to circle back to the original, well, actually, I'll tie a bow on this. And so suffice it to say, he has officially left the Rommates, and he has his own individual channel where, as far as I can tell, he's primarily promoting his course. I mean, it's like every couple of seconds, it's all over his page, this course and book or whatever that he is selling. And he's probably capitalizing on the previous success and trying to hold on to it to generate some notoriety and support and attention to his new setup of him just talking individually. And he did a whole video of him leaving the Roommate and the Roommate's YouTube channel. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. So to go back to the interview, I already said one of the main issues, but another, and this is kind of right alongside it, that's an issue, is Andrew Wilson, and I reference him a lot because he to me is a guy that encapsulates a very similar worldview to me. When he debates, he always, Andrew Wilson from The Crucible, he always says that and tries to meet people where they're at in dismantling their worldview. So, for example, if you are debating with an atheist, just to make this easy, there really is no point in like continuously pounding the Christ pill. And I think a lot of Protestants do this. And if I had to guess, I would say that Hafeez is a Protestant. It doesn't make sense because these people are not Protestants, or excuse me, they're not Christians. They don't buy into it. Now, I know in theory you're trying to get the audience to agree, but at the very least, a lot of the audience is not Christian either. And they're likely, in my opinion, they're more likely to hold firm if you take the approach of pounding the pavement with the Christ pill and coming up with biblical defenses of whatever you're arguing, and biblical statements and arguments for whatever you're debating. That is only going to go so far. I don't think that is the most advantageous way to go about it. Rather, you meet people where they're at. If they're atheists and they're secular, you try to find secular ways to dismantle their secular reasoning. And then once that's done and you can show the audience and them that you can dismantle their own secular viewpoints with secular points and argumentation, then it's far easier to bring them in by getting deeper into Christian philosophy and biblical practices. And so he didn't really do that, and I think that was a problem. You know, he did, on top of not showing people why that was a better way, considering he basically agreed with all the red pill issues going on in the modern state of dating and the modern issues in the current dating place. Given that he basically agreed with all those points, he did not say why taking the Christ pill and still engaging in marriage was the correct course of action. He just basically said, you just should, and because I say so. And guys, that it comes off as arrogant and misguided. So that's the main thing I wanted to say on that. But the other points that I wanted to express is, in the red pill, we've seen now many people kind of have careers like this. And, just speaking for me personally, I've always told you guys that I personally, what I care about the most is talking about things that I believe. Whether it lands with my audience or not, that is who I am. And you guys have come to expect that. And people who are new to the channel will come to expect that. But if you're kind of always doing this and then you change and then you're doing this and then what I mean is with the Red Pill, with the Manosphere, with kind of the dating YouTube channels, you have guys and gals really that will go on and they'll gain notoriety being one thing. And the whole audience will think, oh, well, this person is Red Pill. They're Manosphere. They're, whatever. And then they'll change real quick, more so as a business tactic rather than it being truly something that they believe in. Or hell, they may even believe it, but still it's a business tactic. And it just comes off as really disingenuous. It does not come off as authentic. Because whichever point you're doing that, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, or the end, it's not consistent all the way through. And people can change their mind. But again, the audience is going to be far more receptive to you changing your mind if you consistently express an aura of authenticity, rather than being somebody who enters the space by being attached to one ideology and then out of nowhere changing it. Because let's be honest, a lot of people knew Hafeez as a guy that was in the Red Pill space. He was going on the Fresh and Fit channel. He was, and I don't remember always hearing him espouse his Christian ideology as loudly as he was when he was on Pearl, Saucecast, and whatever. And listen, I wish the guy the best. I'm a Christian, and I don't disagree with everything that he's saying, I don't disagree with everything he's saying. But as far as just taking a step back and viewing it, we've seen this before. There's a lot of people who have kind of had this roller coaster of their belief system, and it's hard for people to continue to see them as authentic, especially when in the first place, people are like, oh, this guy seems adamant about what he believes in. I got to give him a listen. It's like, okay, well, but then you can just change your mind like that. How adamant were you about what you believed in the first place then? So in the Red Pill space, we have seen a lot of people come and go. And like I said, people can change their minds. That's fine. And hopefully this is working out for him. But I would just say in general, it's important to be authentic. Even if initially your results may not be what you want them to be. And just in general, I would say you shouldn't focus on the results. Or for me personally, I don't focus on the results. I do review the results, but it's not my main focus. What I focus on the most is the process and what I put into the process. You have to fall in love with the process and the work. To me, the results come when you do that. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to say with all this is just to say, and this is the point that I don't want to throw any shade at him specifically, but just to use him as a jumping off point. I've always said in my videos, no YouTube content creator, no matter how big, is some messiah or some larger than life individual that no matter what, you believe 100% of the time without second thought or anything like that. No, that is absurd. You should always have a critical eye, a critical mind in evaluating the information. And it's okay to not agree with people 100%. Like I made a video last week, I think, where I was talking about some of my Trump opinions, where I said, like, there are people who agree with 95, to 99% of what I say, but they might not be as far along in their belief system when it comes to Trump and the current administration. And they're like, no, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done. No. That's ridiculous. You don't have to agree with people 100%, okay? You're not going to agree with people 100%. If that's what you're looking for, then you should basically only talk to yourself. But again, these YouTubers, at most, they're providing perspectives. That's it. And it's good to be critical of that and ask yourself, do I find that this holds water? Do I find that this is legitimate? Because these content creators, and I have said before, you should do the same with me. I expect you to do the same with me. I don't want you to agree with everything that I have to say. That's not how things work. Content creators come and go. They change their minds. They evolve. They devolve. They're authentic. They're not authentic. You don't know these people truly and 100%. You don't know them. You're not with them on a daily basis and seeing how they truly live their life. You're not. So just take it with a grain of salt. Take it for what it is. It's just information. It is just a perspective. And lastly, just for myself, I've told you guys this before. Everything that I say is just me sharing my worldview. Okay? I am not saying how you should live your life. I am not saying anything like that. Okay? Do I have my worldview in thinking that there's a best or better way to live? Of course. And that is what I am advocating for. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to share my perspective. Okay? And to put my mindset out there. And hopefully it somebody takes it in and it gives them, food for thought. But as far as like the expectation of believing wholesale or anything like that, I don't want you to be like that. I want you to take it in and this pressure or this thought that YouTubers are telling people how to live their life. In some regards, it does seem that way. I will admit that. There's a lot of them in the way they speak. It does seem like that. But just for me personally, that's not the case. This is YouTube. This is content creation. This is entertainment. I'm just providing a perspective, okay? That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So anyways, guys, I thought that was interesting to talk about. I was like, damn, I came across a video of him and I was like, man, where the fuck did this guy go? Like, I remember seeing his content everywhere and then not so much. And I guess we know the answer. He is done with the Rommates. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe button. And, of course, last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow and facts or feelings because your feelings just don't matter. I love you, kings. I will see you guys next time. Christ is king. Peace.